Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends, and another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding a fellow that I picked up at the recent Choose Your Path event. I chose my path. It was a very hot one. And at the end of it was Ignis. Ignis is a legendary. He is fire. He is from the underworld. He's part of the evil legions. And he's a villain. But he did show up with lots of open ruin slots, so I'm not going to hold any of that against him. So let's find him a temporary home over here before we move on to his final destination. Okay, for a minute there I thought he was just being extremely lazy. He just kind of fell over and lied there. I'm like, could you get up? Oh, that's what you're doing. Okie dokie. Alright, so where is he? There he is right there. You can just see him right in the open. This is Alaz. No, we're not going to call him Alaz. We'll find something cool for him. Anyway, this is Ignis. He is a legendary. He is fire. He is hardened, so he has a 20% chance to resist negative status effects. That can be very useful. Let's look at his stats. His strength is very good. His life is really good, considering he is an older one. You notice the 3 evolutions. His speed is okay, definitely not a problem there. So let's see what he's got in terms of skills, right? Alright, so his first one, Red Hot, deals low physical damage to one enemy, and then Raging Flames, deals moderate fire damage to one enemy. And his special skill, where it looked like he was, lying down and resting, Some Like It Hot. Deals very heavy special damage to all enemies, applies burn and fire weakness to all enemies. Okay, could you lead with that one? I guess it wouldn't matter because it was special damage. But anyway, the fire weakness is definitely a good thing. Normally, when meteors fall from the skies onto Monster Legend Islands, no one blinks an eye. But this one was different. Not only was it enormous and leaving streaks of red-hot fire in its wake, but it also started moving and wreaking havoc, utter havoc, and destruction. Okay, you were a naughty boy, weren't you? Well, if I want you to wreak some havoc for me, I'm going to have to stuff you with some tomatoes. Alright, so let's get up to his second evolution, because he does have 3 of them. And there he is. He looks hot. Alright, so let's continue, because I want some skills for this guy. So let's go to level 7. Magma Explosion. Deals moderate fire damage to one enemy. Well, that's straightforward. Can't get much straight than that. Does damage. Move on. Alright, so let's continue to level 10. Set on Fire. Deals low special damage to one enemy. Applies fire weakness to one enemy. Alright, so is he going to be doing a fire weakness thing? That would be nice. So, okay, could you get up, please? I am feeding you, Okay, that's better. Alright, let's get to level 15 for another skill. Blazing Rage. Deals moderate fire damage to one enemy, 50% chance of applying Burn Hater to itself. Okay, he's only got a chance of applying Burn Hater? Hopefully he can do better than that. Alright, well, we can just throw that there for now. Not gonna keep it, but I don't want it coming back either. Alright, so let's continue to level 20. And another skill. Ash Storm. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy. Applies burn to all enemies. Well, that's kind of useful. Probably not going to keep it, but I'll just throw it there. Not enough damage. Alrighty, okay. I guess he's just going to keep doing that, so we'll feed him. That's how he'll get up. And we're going to 25. Another skill in his final form. Fiery Temper. Deals heavy special damage to one enemy. Applies Burn Hater to itself. Applies burn to one enemy. Well, that's a good combo for us. I guess we could just put that there for now. You never know. Might hold on to that one. Could be useful. And there he is, his final form. A meteor that fell. And he does that a lot, doesn't he? Okay. Maybe he just needs rest. Destroying things is very taxing. Ash Storm. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy, applies burn to all enemies. Well, that was actually an upgrade of the one I just got rid of, but we can just throw that there, because why not? Okay, so let's continue to level 35 and another skill. Volcanic Fury. Deals very heavy fire damage to one enemy, applies burn to all enemies. Well, I mean, it's more expensive, but it's a better version of that. Well, it is fire damage, though. I guess I could just throw it back there for now. I don't know. That's got a pretty heavy cost to it. But I mean, if they're weak to fire from some other skill, that could do a lot of damage, right? All right. So let's go to level 40. I'm waiting for a skill. Rising Steam deals low special damage to all enemies. Applies fire weakness to all enemies. Okay. Now that is very, very useful right there. All right. Let me look around and see what it is I want to get rid of. Okay, that's going to burn everybody. It does a lot of damage. This is special damage, but this is special damage too. So I think I'm going to put it in for this one. It doesn't really do a lot of damage. This one just could be more useful, depending on what else we get, that is. Also, he can set up his other teammates too, right? All right, so let's go. I think we have one more skill left, and it's one I'm kind of looking for, so let's get to it. Magma Rain. Applies fire weakness and burn to all enemies. Applies burn hater to itself. Okay, so that is very useful. Now, I don't need that one anymore, do I? I mean, the entire purpose for this one, that one does damage, but it's special damage. It's not really very useful. What do I have up here? I'm going to have to go out and redo his skills. All right, so let's just throw this one here because, yeah, 0 cooldown. Very useful. Very useful. All right, I am going to have to go back and grab some of his skills again. All right, so let's continue to level 50. Rising Steam. Oh, that's the one I just got rid of. I don't think that I'm going to get that one. I need fire damage, right? So let's continue to level 55. Ash Storm. I think I have a better version of that, I believe. Yeah, this one. Well, this one does burn. Oh, that does burn to one enemy. This one does burn to all enemies. But the thing is, if I do this one, they're already burning. And this one burns them too. So I really want fire damage, but I do have special damage already. This one just not what I'm looking for. All right, and level 60. Ash Storm. All right, I'm going to have to go looking in here to see what it is I want to go with. All right, I kind of poked around here for a little bit too long, so I just kind of truncated it. I grabbed skills, the best skills that I could find. So we're just going to talk about them on the outside. All right, let's look at his stats. All right, his strength is okay. His strength is okay. He's very dependent on the fact that he is going to make enemies weak to fire, and he's going to set them on fire and give himself burn hater. So that's going to be useful to him. He's got a very good life, considering he's kind of a damage dealer. His speed isn't bad. Definitely not denial speed, but it's not bad considering what he is. All right, so let's take a quick look at the skills that I selected. So let's start with this one, and easily his weakest skill. The Heat is On. Deals low fire damage to all enemies. Applies burn to one enemy. All right, it requires cooldown. This one is going to do low fire damage to all enemies, and the individual he actually targeted, he's going to try to give them the torture effect burning. By itself, it's pretty pathetic. It really is. Thing is, I couldn't find anything better that would actually work. There was another one that was special damage, but the way I figure it is this. His further skills are going to give fire weakness and give him burn hater. This might actually do a lot of damage if both of those are in place. And besides, it is actually his lowest stamina, so in a pinch, he might need it. So that's the reason I kind of chose this one, but by far his weakest skill. All right, let's move on to this one. Fiery Temper. Deals heavy special damage to one enemy, applies burn hater to itself, applies burn to one enemy. This is his only special damage hit. It says heavy special, but it's barely heavy special, just like right at the line there. This is going to hit one enemy really hard. It's going to give burn hater to himself, which lasts for 3 turns, and it's going to apply burn to one enemy for 4 turns, assuming it's not resisted or they're immune to it or something like that. Which means if he comes back the next turn and hits the same individual, he's going to do a lot of more damage. Burn hater means that if something is burning, they have the torture effect burn on, he's going to do triple damage. So that could be very, very good. Kind of the reason I'm keeping this one, right? All right, let's look at the next one. Magma Rain. Applies fire weakness and burn to all enemies. Applies burn hater to itself. Now this one also gives burn hater to himself. This one doesn't actually do physical damage in terms right initially. It's going to make them weak against fire attacks, and it's going to attempt to give them the torture effect burning, which means next round if you hit them with a fire attack, they're in a lot of trouble, right? They're going to take double damage from fire attacks, assuming they're not already susceptible to fire attacks, right? I mean, if you're talking about a nature monster, yeah, you don't really need the fire weakness. They're already going to take double damage. But if you're talking about somebody like water, you apply that to them, they're going to take double damage. The thing is, if they're also burning, and he's got burn hater on, they're going to take triple damage. Is that all stack? I got to try that. If that all stacks, it's just ugly. And that's kind of what this guy needs. He needs the burn hater. He needs the fire weakness. Of course, other fire individuals can take advantage of the fire weakness, but he's the one with the burn hater, right? All right, and then let's look at the final one. Volcanic Fury. Deals very heavy fire damage to one enemy. Applies burn to all enemies. This one is also going to set them all on fire in terms of the torture effect burning, but it's going to do very heavy fire damage to one enemy. They have fire weakness, it's going to do double damage. If they're also burning, yeah, I mean, he could probably one-hit a lot of big things like that. I'd like to try that against, if you get the opportunity, try that against one of the Megaton tanks. That could be very ugly. You know, if you get the weakness on them, if you get burning on them, he gets burn hater on himself. Yeah, he could do a lot of damage with a single hit. But he kind of requires that. This is a guy, he's not going to do a lot of damage himself without the weakness and without the burn hater. Fortunately, for the burn hater, he does have two different skills to keep it going. So that's something. And this skill, remember, this skill is a one-round cooldown. It's a little expensive, but if he's got the other two going, this is going to do a lot of damage. This is just going to take somebody out. A normal monster, just take them out. Just like that. That's the thing about this guy. This guy does require his setup, which is the reason in a lot of ways you should probably lead with this one, which is a 0 cooldown. So if he gets his cooldowns activated, he can just do this. And the next round, when he's got one turn left, he can just kill somebody. He kind of requires it because without those, he's really going to have a hard time killing things because his damage isn't really that good. But the thing is, if they are in place, you kind of do want him to actually do damage. His strength is okay. His life, of course, we said is good. His speed is all right. So I would actually probably put speed on him. My instinct is telling me 2 damage and a self-speed. You could justify 2 speeds because you really do need to get his stuff going in order for him to do damage. Because when you're getting around to do the damage, you really want him to hit hard. Me personally, I'm thinking 2 damages and a self-speed. Not a team speed, a self-speed. Because you do want him getting the weakness down, getting the burn hater down, so that way he can come back and take advantage of it. Right, so he really does need to have his stuff going. He's pretty good. It's just that you really do need to work him. He's not somebody that I would put on defense because you couldn't count on him doing things in the order in which he requires it. If he's got a good denial, then he can get the time to do the things he needs to kill. Anyway, this is Ignis. He's pretty good. He's pretty good indeed. A little bit tricky to play, but then again, that's why we do testing, isn't it? I think that's going to be it for now, so thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it, and play games because games are fun. See ya.